Hello again. I'm sure that many viewers will have noticed that while Scottish nationalism and Welsh nationalism are perfectly unremarkable, respectable, and indeed fashionable political causes, English nationalism is, on the other hand, often equated with fascism, or at the very least, racism and xenophobia. This is odd. I'm sure that a lot of you have also noticed that monitoring forms for ethnicity have boxes for Irish and often Scottish and Welsh, but never for English. This is irritating. It was particularly irritating for a man called Graham Moore, who, in the wake of the Grenfell Tower fire, applied for a job with the Southern Housing Group as project manager for carrying out fire risk and remedial work on blocks of flats. He was interviewed for and given the job, and was duly irritated to discover that he couldn't describe his ethnicity as English, and that rather set the scene for what happened afterward. Mr. Moore is something of an expert on the English Constitution. He lists it as a hobby, and in late 2019 stood as a candidate for the English Democrats in the general election, which was held that year. When his employers heard about this, they decided it meant he was not the kind of person they wanted working for him, English nationalism being anathema to them. Anyway, he lost the job and took his former employers to a tribunal, alleging that he had been discriminated against on the grounds of his ethnicity and also his beliefs. In the description to this video, I give a link to the judgment in the case, which is found on the government website. Graham Moore's views, not all of which I agree with incidentally, include the idea that socialism is unlawful and that some politicians in this country are guilty of treason. I've seen similar views expressed in comments here, and I also meet people regularly who feel the same way. I honestly do not see this as extremism or find anything dangerous or offensive in anybody holding such beliefs. They are certainly no more dangerous or extreme than many left-wing opinions, which I routinely see in the newspapers and which pass without any remark at all. Although Moore lost his case, a couple of bits from the judgment are worth noting. One was that Judge Fiona McLaren said that English nationalism is a cogent and cohesive philosophical belief and can be treated as being on a par with religious belief. This you might find encouraging. But it is what she said in addition to this that I find deeply disturbing. She said that it was necessary to consider whether Graham Moore's beliefs were, and I quote, akin to that of pursuing totalitarianism or advocating Nazism or espousing violence and hatred in the gravest of forms. Now, why would we have to consider English nationalism in such a way when nobody in their senses would dream of applying such a test to Scots or Welsh nationalism? It's an interesting point. Judge McLaren concluded that, and again I quote, his views about socialism being unlawful or what constitutes treason potentially infringe on others' rights within a democracy, but we conclude that his beliefs do not involve a very grave violation of the rights of others, tantamount to the destruction of those rights. The claimant is not espousing violence or hatred in its gravest form. We conclude his beliefs fall into the category of beliefs that are offensive, shocking, or even disturbing to others. I would like viewers to consider this for a moment. An unremarkable and peaceful English nationalist has been described by a judge in this country as holding views which are offensive, shocking and disturbing to others. I think this renders any more comment from me wholly superfluous. Click on the link and open the judgment in this case, and then scroll down to the bottom. The parts of the judgment which I've just quoted may be found in a paragraph headed 148.